Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of our homeland, Eretz Yisroel. May Kadosh Baruch Hu, may God continue to protect our brave soldiers, and may God return all the hostages from Gaza immediately. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor and in loving memory of Edward ben Efraim, Shlomo ben Edward, and Yirachmiel Daniel ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted, and may their memories be a blessing. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Chukas, our story continued. Our Parsha begins with Moshe Rabbeinu teaching and introducing the intricate laws of the Parah Adumah, the red heifer. The Parah Adumah was a completely red cow that was never used for labor and slaughtered as an offering and then burnt. Its ashes were used to purify those who contracted the most severe level of ritual impurity, tumas mes, the impurity resulting from contact with a human corpse. The process takes 7 days, and they must be sprinkled with the ashes on the third and seventh day, and then afterwards they become pure once again. Following the laws of Parah Adumah, we learn about the death of Miriam Hanaviah, Moshe Rabbeinu's sister, as well as the wife of Kaleb ben Yefuneh, one of the spies who spoke virtuously about the land of Israel. With her passing, the miraculous rock that provided water to the nation in her merit ceased to flow. She died and was buried in the city of Kadesh. In previous episodes, I spoke a lot about the story of the rock, so go back to other episodes to learn more about Moshe Rabbeinu's experience with the rock. Shortly after her death, Moshe Rabbeinu sends messengers to the king of Edom requesting safe passage through their land. But Edom refuses, and the Jewish people therefore were forced to circumvent the land of Edom and approach the land of Canaan from the east. However, a question comes to mind. When Moshe Rabbeinu sends messengers to the king of Edom, he opens up with an unexpected appeal. The pasuk states that Vayishlach Moshe malachim mikadesh el melech Edom, and Moshe sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. Kar amar achicha Yisrael, so says your brother Israel. Ata yedaita, eis kol atla asher matzinu, you have known all the hardships that have befallen us. But why does Moshe call the nation of Edom our brother, knowing full well the long and painful history of a rivalry between our peoples? How could Moshe strive for brotherhood in a relationship so marked by conflict? Furthermore, how could Edom possibly know the suffering of Egypt, the tears of slavery, the challenges of exile, and the cries that pierced the heavens for our redemption? They were not there. They cannot feel the lash of the whip, nor witness the miracles of the exodus of Yetzias Mitzrayim. So why speak to them as if they carry a memory of a story that they never lived? Rashi, Rav Shlomo Yitzchaki, the leading Torah commentary, gives a simple explanation. And he quotes the Medrash Tanchuma, which teaches us that Avraham Avinu was told by God that his descendants would be strangers in a land not their own, destined for exile and suffering. And the nation of Edom are descendants of Esav. They share that lineage and were included in that original prophecy. When Yaakov and Esav parted ways, each built a separate path. But the burden of exile meant for the children and descendants of Avraham Avinu fell solely on Yaakov's descendants, us, the Jewish people. Moshe appeals to Edom not with anger or with animosity, but with quiet clarity. You are a part of this family, and we bore the suffering, and we carried the exile, and now we ask to pass through, not with dominance or conquest, but with peace. Please let us go, and they were denied. However, the Aruch HaMakadesh, Rav Chaim ben Attar, a Moroccan commentary and Kabbalist, gives a deeper and more profound explanation. And he writes that by calling Edom your brother, our brother, Achicha, Moshe Rabbeinu was offering Esav's descendants a moment of tshuva, a moment of return, a chance to reclaim their place in the legacy of Avraham Avinu. Though Yaakov and Esav had gone separate ways, the prophecy of exile and redemption was destined for both. The suffering in Egypt, the weight of servitude and exile, And the long walk towards freedom was meant for all of Avram's descendants, all of Avram's children, but one side bore its full weight. Moshe Rabbeinu was not accusing them. He was reminding them that this was their opportunity to come back into the story, and not through oppression, but through compassion. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Lushnerson, of blessed memory, takes Moshe's appeal a step further, explaining that the request was not political, it was spiritual. Even if Edom did not share in the suffering, they could still feel it. True brotherhood is not built on shared experiences, but on shared responsibility. Moshe Rabbeinu speaks to them with empathy, not entitlement. He does not demand that they understand the exile exactly as it was. Instead, he speaks to what they still carry deep within them, a spark of the holy and great Avraham Avinu, Avraham our forefather. Pain is not always personal, but it is always human. When Moshe Rabbeinu says, you know the hardships that have befallen us, he's appealing not to Edom's memory, but to their soul. He is saying, if that spark still burns, then let it speak. Not with resistance, but with recognition. Not with conquest, but with a conscience. A voice that does not demand, but invites and asks, will you rise? Will you remember who you are? The Rebbe's profound lesson is ever more relevant with the recent updates in the Holy Land in Eretz Yisroel. With just 12 days, Israel achieved a stunning and powerful victory over Iran. They dismantled the upper ranks of its terror infrastructure, eliminating long-standing threats to Israel and to the United States, and critically set back Iran's nuclear capabilities for many, many years to come. Yet the most powerful outcome was not a military victory, but a spiritual progression. Jews across the world, far from the missiles, far from the battlefields, could not sleep. We worried, we prayed, and fighter pilots in the skies and soldiers behind enemy lines were carried by an army of mothers, fathers, yeshiva students, business owners, regular people, all begging God for their safety and salvation. Iran waged a war destined to drain the people of Israel. Ballistic missiles fell night after night, denying our brothers and sisters in the Holy Land even a moment of rest. But the enemy failed to break their spirit, and it could not touch ours. Something awakened within us. A reminder that Jewish destiny is never confined to a geography, it lives in the soul of every Jew. The pain of one Jew echoes in the heart of another. The safety of a soldier depends on the prayers of someone who has never held a weapon in their life. The weight of Jewish continuity is not carried only by those in the land of Israel, it belongs to every single Jew, in every single place, and in every single generation. In our daily life, it is imperative to realize that we are a part of something much bigger than ourselves. The Jewish story isn't about heroes standing alone, it is about a people who carry each other. Responsibility doesn't live in the hands of the few, it lives in all of us, and it begins the moment we stop waiting for someone else to act. We do not get to opt out. When a brother or a sister is in pain, it is not their challenge, it is ours. When a soul is searching, it is not their journey alone. When we show up, even in small ways, we become part of something eternal. We become part of each other, and together, we bring the world closer to the coming of Mashiach and the ultimate redemption. I read a profound quote that will conclude this episode. Redemption begins the moment we stop asking who will lead and start asking how can we serve. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.